those who have qualified and who have got a call for the interview. Interview preparation definitely is a very important step towards the final goals. And अब अगर मुझे आप लोग पूछें तो there is not much of marks difference between those who qualify the interview. Maybe 10-15 बच्चे ऐसे होंगे who have gone beyond most of the students with maybe 20-30 marks a gap. Otherwise, most of the students के marks comparable level पे ही होते हैं. So interview बहुत important है. And I think 3 things that trouble more all of us is columns under the DAF 2, which are hobbies interest section. एक होता है cadre कैसे भरा जाए preferences, and third is the service preferences. So I'll take up these issues one by one. Okay, please look at my screen and I'll detail how to fill up. Number 1, the cadre zone and states का preference होता है वो कैसे भरा जाता है. So if you all can see my screen, this is a typical screen for the preferences around cadres and the zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, 4 and 5. Zone 1 is Agmat cadre, जिसमें कि you have Andaman, Nicobar, Goa, Mizoram and Union Territories जिसमें आती हैं, along with Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand. वैसे Zone 2 is Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh. Zone 3, Zone 4. Zone 4 is largely the Northeast India, along with West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland. Zone 5 are the southern states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, also Kerala, southern states. There are 3 considerations when you fill up this. Number 1 is, आपका home state क्या है? Okay, home state का कोई ऐसा definition नहीं है. It's entirely up to you what you think is your home state. It can be a place where you were born and you have stayed all your life. It can also be a place where you have moved with your parents and because your father is working there, you're comfortable there. It can also be some other place where you have studied, not where your father has worked and not where you were born. So जो home state concept है, वो कहीं define नहीं किया है proper. It's entirely your subject preference. And I think you must opt for whatever state you think is their home state. Having said that, now कैसे zones को आप arrange कर सकते हो? Now look at the screen, all of you here. I'm showing you a table here, which is a table of zone preferences and the alignment of zone in terms of the order कि आप कैसे arrange करना चाह रहे हो. So I'm drawing it बीच में ही. These are the preferences. Preference 1, preference 2, preference 3, preference 4 and preference 5. These are the zones. Zone जो 1, 2, 3, 4 हम mark करेंगे eventually. आप सब मेरा ये स्क्रीन देखें कि अगर आप जोन 1 को बिलोंग करते हैं एंड से जोन 1 इज योर फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस, अगर जोन 1 आपका फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस है, देन दिस कुड बी योर ऑर्डर ऑफ चॉइस. सेकंड में जोन 2 रखिए, थर्ड में जोन 3 रखिए, फोर्थ में जोन 5 रखिए, देन यू हैव जोन 4. द मेन criteria on which I have said this is, number 1, which is your home state. The home state should be your preference zone. And after that, I've talked in terms of distance from your home state. So proximity is a very important criteria. And another consideration I've kept in mind is the cultural and the linguistic issues. Language issue है, ये भी मैंने रखा है. तो अगर आप zone 1 से belong करते हैं, so every possibility you want to be around zone 1. So if you look at your places around zone 1, ये अगर zone 1 है, so you would want to be around zone 1, which is Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha. This is a bit more closer. In fact, you can also alternate with zone 3 also. So 2 and 3 can be your second choice. This zone 2 and zone 3, अगर zone 1 आपका first preference है, zone 2 and 3 can be your second or third. Generally, I have suggested zone 4 because Northeast India है, culturally थोड़ा सा अलग है. Okay, they have a different system in terms of their traditions. तो मैंने इसको generally last में रखा है. And zone 5 again because of the distance in your language. So अगर zone 1 आपका 1 है, 2 and 3 you can interchange. That's your choice. Generally, I will prefer I take up zone 2, which is closer this one, and then I'll keep zone 4 to be last. And that's what exactly what I have done. Okay. and these two are very much interchangeable if you want to. वैसे अगर zone 2 आपका first preference है, zone 2 अगर first preference है, then in all choices zone 3 can be your second choice, zone 1 can be your third choice, and then again zone 5 and zone 4. हालांकि you can also interchange between 1 and 3. Generally, 1 has more diversity. तो इसमें मिजोरम भी है, अंडमान लक्षद्वीप भी है. It also has a दमन दीव in this. तो जो diversity हो जाता है. So zone 2 के पास में 3 is more logical. Like you can have a look here. Zone 2 के पास में 3, बिहार, झारखंड, उड़ीसा, उत्तर प्रदेश के ज्यादा logical closer is छत्तीसगढ़, गुजरात, MP and Maharashtra. So zone 2 के बाद 3 makes sense. Then you have got zone 1. Okay, then of course, zone 5 is okay, it's further down south, and 4 is the northeast. Where say if your zone 3 is your preferred zone, in that case, you can alternate with 2 or 1. This also can be 2 or 1. Yani ki if you have chosen zone 2 here, you have a zone 1 dal dijiye. If you have chosen zone 1 here, you put zone 2 here. And this also remains the same, 5 and 4. Because zone 3 mein, if you look, you have got छत्तीसगढ़, गुजरात एंड महाराष्ट्र. इससे लॉजिकली पास बनता है बिहार, झारखंड, उड़ीसा, उत्तर प्रदेश. इसके पास है. So 3 के बाद 1 is a logical choice, but if you want, you can also go for 2, which has Agmat, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan also. Okay, so I said 1 and 2 can be interchangeable. Okay, that's how I have mentioned. 1 and 2 are interchangeable. और अगर zone 4 है, zone 4 is the northeast India. जोन 4 में सबसे क्लोजेस्ट चॉइस बनता है जोन 1, बिकॉज इसमें यू हैव मिजोरम इन दिस. दैट्स द रीजन. एंड प्लस काफी डाइवर्सिटी है, बिकॉज जोन 4 में भी काफी डाइवर्सिटीज हैं. एडमिट है, अंडमान. एक तो इसके साथ में जम्मू कश्मीर, लद्दाख भी आ जाता है. तो कंपेयर टू द अदर स्टेट्स ऑफ इंडिया, जम्मू कश्मीर, लद्दाख, मिजोरम, दे आर क्लोजर टू जोन 4 देन द रेस्ट. उसके बाद it's your choice. You can interchange. It can be either zone 2 or 3 at the third preference, or zone 2 and 3 at the third preference, and then zone 5, जो southern India hai, this will be a last preference. Again, like I said, there's no bias as such in the choice of the zones. I have kept in mind distance, proximity from your home state, and the cultural and language aspects मैंने ध्यान में रखा है. और अगर आपका first choice zone 5 है, okay, and then the logical second choice has to be zone 3. Zone 3 with Maharashtra, MP is more closer to zone 5. इसलिए 5 के बाद में 3 logical बनता है. And third and fourth में it can either be zone 2 or zone 1. अगर यहाँ पर 2 है, यहाँ पर zone 1. Okay, और यहाँ पर अगर 1 है तो यहाँ पर zone 2. And your fourth choice, the fifth one choice will be zone 4. So that's how I am trying to arrange your preferences. So you can remember this as your guide to choosing which can be, of course, depending on if the home state belongs to a particular zone. Having said this, now if you look at कि किसी भी zone के अंदर में, कि अगर zone 1 है, if you have zone 1, फिर जोन 1 के अंदर में ये चॉइस कैसे बनता है, या फिर जोन 2 के अंदर में ये कैसे चॉइस बनेगा. So look at my screen. I'll explain that aspect now. Now, I have again drawn a grid here where 1 to 5 is the choice of the states, and this is the zone that you have chosen. If you have chosen zone 1, the criteria I've kept in mind is largely what are the scope of the nature of work you can do. The diversity is something I have kept in mind. The scope of work that you can do, the diversity of the type of responsibilities you can take, and in general, what is the work environment, and also the degree of interference of the political parties. Interference की कौन से state में the political interference ज़्यादा हो सकता है, कम हो सकता है, वो भी मैंने ध्यान में रखा है. Okay, so अगर zone 1 अगर आपका preference है, I would highly recommend give other factors remain the same more or less. Agmat Cadre is a very very good cadre because आप दिल्ली के पास रहते हैं, power center के पास रहते हैं, you have the real taste of being in power. Of course, political pressure ज़्यादा होता है, Okay, being in the AGMUT cadre, Jammu Kashmir is a very important one. Similarly, lot of people prefer deputation to Delhi. AGMUT is a good cadre, but only problem is you have to do a bit of traveling. Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep hai. You are sent to Mizoram now. Now Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh bhi hai. So if you want that type of diversity, AGMUT is a good cadre. Otherwise, I think Haryana can be a good choice. Haryana ke baad mein Punjab is a good choice. Uttaranchal and Himachal Pradesh, according to me, can be later choice. Of course, this is according to me what I think is a good sequence. But अगर आपका पंजाब है home state and you want there, पंजाब को फिर आप 1 में ले आए, accordingly arrange कर दीजिए. अगर लगता है उत्तरांचल is your home state, तब उत्तरांचल को 1 में ले आइए, अकॉर्डिंगली सारे अरेंज कर दीजिए. तो दैट इज हाउ आई एम थिंकिंग. इन जनरल क्या होता है, उत्तरांचल हिमाचल प्रदेश में हिल स्टेट्स हैं, द डाइवर्सिटी एंड द पोटेंशियल टू वर्क इज देयर. बहुत अच्छा जगह है, सुंदर है, नॉट मच ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स एज सच, बट देन जो स्कोप ऑफ वर्क चाहिए, you definitely it's more in Haryana, AGMUT and Punjab. That's why I have kept them separately. Uttaranchal because it is relatively more accessible to the plains. Otherwise, ऐसा कोई bias नहीं है. If you want, you can interchange Himachal with Uttaranchal also. And Haryana, given the fact it is closer to your AGMUT or Delhi region, this is a nice place to be posted here. Punjab is also a good place, but given the distance from AGMUT, मैंने पंजाब को third में रखा. Otherwise, Punjab is a fairly good place to work if you're looking at IAS, खासकर. It's a nice place without too much of issues and good exercise of power. अगर zone 2 आपका preference है, अगर zone 2 preference है, the recommendation that I have for you is you can keep Odisha as one. Your choice, you can have UP or Bihar as second and third, or Bihar and UP could be second and third, and the fourth choice can be Jharkhand. Jharkhand इसलिए रखा है because tribal area है. Compared to Bihar, UP, okay, Jharkhand is relatively not as diverse in terms of the job prospects, but the very good place to work. Jharkhand में development issues हैं and अच्छा खासा revenue आता है because it's a mining state. Plus this area also has royalty वाला Supreme Court का जो judgment है. Jharkhand will be a good place. But if you ask me, I rate Odisha as a very nice place to work. Lot of independence, lot of diversity, good economy. Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, Jharsuguda are upcoming centers. Eastern India में Odisha is the most promising center. Okay, एक आपका पारादीप port है, एक धामड़ा port बना है, and lot of development is happening. So Odisha is a good place. In fact, I always say Odisha is the country's best kept secret in terms of potential prospects, people, tourism. So Odisha is a nice place. But अगर आप यूपी से हैं और यूपी आपको होम स्टेट है, you can also consider UP as the first choice. Accordingly arrange कर लीजिए. अगर बिहार आपका होम स्टेट है, बिहार को 1 में लेकर आके accordingly arrange कर दिए. Now UP is a very large state, lot of development prospect, and UP में actually you get to exercise your DM powers, exercise your administration's power pretty well. But the only problem is UP may be given the political aspects, plus UP may promotions become a bit slow. I'm told by insiders that to become a DM, it takes somewhere around 7, 8, even 10 years लग जाते हैं आप जब तक DM बन पाते हैं proper. So that's one of the considerations. Otherwise, it's entirely your choice. Given this as my preference of filling. Now coming to zone 3, अगर zone 3 आपका preference है, then your preferred states can be, it can either be Maharashtra or Gujarat as number 1. और अगर यहाँ महाराष्ट्र क्या है, गुजरात number 2, Maharashtra can be next, and उसके बाद you can have MP and you can have Chhattisgarh. Maharashtra, Gujarat, again diversity अच्छा है. In fact, Gujarat has a good reputation of relatively less amount of interference from the political systems. So अच्छा है, development process is very nice. MP is also done well. बस इस priority में I would rate, because economy बड़ा है, Maharashtra and Gujarat economy बड़ा है, revenue is larger, industries are there, a lot of prospects around trade है. Okay, गुजरात में ports बन रहे हैं. So that way बहुत सारे departments खुल जाते हैं where you get to have a good exercise of power. Okay, and Chhattisgarh again the same logic. Jharkhand, given other state, Jharkhand with tribal populations and the range of economy थोड़ा सा कम है. The same thing operates for Chhattisgarh also. Otherwise, these are pretty good states to work. This would have been my sequence of preference. If you are in zone 4, then my first preference would have been Assam, Meghalaya, number 1. I would put Sikkim as number 2, West Bengal as number 3, and then put Manipur and Nagaland. Again, I'm assuming that you do not have Manipur or Nagaland as your home choice. अगर ये होम चॉइस है अकॉर्डिंगली आप चेंज कर लीजिए नागालैंड 1 ले आइए मणिपुर 2 लेके यू कैन अरेंज इट ओके बट जनरली आई फील मणिपुर नागालैंड का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन conditions are very very different. There are issues of conflicts, insurgency, army का काफी अच्छा खासा रोल होता है. You also have border issues हैं. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है because of the nature of security concerns plus the history of conflict that we have, administrative powers तो limited होते हैं. Plus both these states have a bit more preference for the localites from the state services. They tend to get a bit more of consideration. Outsiders insider का यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा division बहुत strong है. In fact, I have had some students who are in Manipur and they said good state, but वही है those state feeling is a bit more strong, so that tends to ignore the outsiders. So by that logic, otherwise these are nice states in terms of diversity. Now West Bengal मैंने third रखा है because again West Bengal में थोड़ा work culture does not favor so much of bureaucracy. थोड़ा trade union वाला history रहा है, awareness of rights रहा है, you get trapped in litigations and political pressure भी West Bengal में थोड़ा ज्यादा रहता है. The independence you want is relatively lesser. Otherwise, Assam, Meghalaya are good states to work in. And Sikkim has emerged as a very nice state to work for development. Industries यहाँ पर हैं, education के works हो रहे हैं. It is not a state, unlike other northeastern states, जितने सारा issues of conflicts यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं है. And Sikkim is developing as the hub of organic agriculture. So it's a nice state to work in. Otherwise, again, like I said, according to your preference, you can arrange this. और अगर zone 5 आपका preference है, if this is your main zone, then my suggestion will be either Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh can be 1. If Karnataka is 1, Andhra Pradesh can be 2. If Andhra Pradesh is 1, then Karnataka can be 2. These are two very big states. One of the forward states, good economy, good diversity. You have got good development prospects. And compared to the other southern states, they have a bit more of diversity of population. Karnataka has a good diversity. Unfortunate in recent times, things have become a bit nasty because of this inside outside. Otherwise, they are good states to work in. I would put Tamil Nadu as third, okay, because compared to Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu becomes a bit more southern part. And Tamil Nadu में थोड़ा insider outsider का feeling थोड़ा ज़्यादा है. If you are a Tamilian, as a choice one, you definitely have a lot of good prospects for development. Otherwise, the north-south Hindi and Tamil feeling is very strong in Tamil Nadu. So that might discourage some people to work. Otherwise, they are brilliant states. In fact, in terms of development prospects, Tamil Nadu definitely is way above than many other states. Telangana मैंने third रखा है because it is still a new state. It is still working out its trajectory in the future. Telangana still has its development issues, not as developed as Andhra Pradesh, but then for some, because Telangana is a new state, can also offer a lot of development opportunities. By that logic, Telangana, if a home state है तो आगे आ जाएगा. Otherwise, my sequence. And Kerala, again, थोड़ा छोटा state है. The range of development diversity is lesser. And Kerala again has some bit of history of government interference given its communist background raha hai. Otherwise, Kerala is largely a peaceful state. Of course, last couple of years, the disaster issues have taken an upper hand. Otherwise, Kerala can also be a preference. But given my choice, I would have recommended this one. By the way, one very important consideration is, because you like it or not, you will be working with a lot of political leadership. You'll be working with political parties. So what happens in some states, जहाँ पर political parties are entrenched, and in the near future, we don't see them changing dramatically. वहाँ पर problem है that if you have ideological differences, and if you get into some some kind of unpleasant altercation with those in power, you can be penalized for a long time. States like Gujarat hai, states like MP bhi hai, the long BJP run ho chuka hai. States like Kerala, okay, where the coalition has been running for quite some time. We have even to some extent Rajasthan. Of course, Rajasthan is not as strongly controlled by only one party, but that could be one of the reasons why you may consider. But जहां पर ज्यादा political party और एक party का dominance है, every possibility you have to be very sure about कि आपकी leanings किस तरफ हैं. Okay, that's one consideration that I have kept in mind when I'm drawing this table. So please look at this list once again. Acha, I forgot to mention that in the zone one, a very nice state is also Rajasthan. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Rajasthan in the zone one. Rajasthan is also a very good state. In fact, after Agmut, you can go for Rajasthan. In fact, for some of you, Rajasthan can also be first. Okay, so it's a good one. You can keep it on the higher priorities. So by and large, this is a list I'm recommending that you can have if you want to fill up your forms. Okay, now let us look at the service preferences. This is another of the concerns students have. कि कौन सा सर्विस भरें, कौन सा सर्विस को प्रायोरिटी दें. So what I have done is I divide the services broadly into 8 blocks. Please watch the blocks. Block number 1, I keep IAS, IFS, IPS. Block number 2, Indian Account Service, IRS, IT, IRS, Customs, Excise. Block number 3, it has Railways, Management, Service, Railways Protection Force, Defense Estate Service. Block number 4, I keep DANIPS. Then we have block 5. This is a bit more bigger block. इसमें Civil Account Service, we have Corporate Law, we have Information Service, Indian Trade Service, Indian Postal Service, Indian Postal and Telecom, Finance and Account Services. And block number 6 is Pondicherry Civil Services and Pondicherry Police Service. And block number 7, I keep as Defense Account Service and Armed Forces Civil Service. Let's call this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 blocks. हमारे choice में let us fix 2 blocks. So block number 7 हम fix कर लेते हैं. Block number 7, which is according to me in the criteria of preferences ये last में होगा. Why? Because defense है और accounts है. Accounts is largely a desk work, largely paperwork. And defense may you always have a problem where you have a bit more of domination of the armed forces. You do not have too much of power here. And armed forces, civil services hai, but then ye group B service hai. And top of it again in armed forces, you do not have so much of freedom to enact or to act compared to the armed forces and their priorities. So given a choice, block 7 में हमेशा last रखता हूँ. The last choice is armed for civil services and defense account. In fact, those who come from good academic backgrounds, you have done your vocational professional courses. In fact, these are the services that should not be driving you to compromise your other education trainings that you have. You should not show desperation कि कुछ भी job मिल जाए मैं घुस जाऊं. So I would keep these jobs in those criteria. Okay, so there's no desperation for this. If you get it, fine, it looks nice. Otherwise, in preference, I'll keep it last. So this I have kind of marked. Now, block 1 also is fixed. आपका block 1 में यही 3 आना चाहिए. Your choice, unless you are fiercely driven by police service and maybe foreign service, IAS in India is IAS. Okay, this is the most powerful job, the greatest diversity. Any other department more or less reports to IAS. Foreign service is a bit different. But for foreign service, you need to have that type of call, that type of preference to keep foreign service as number one. Otherwise, my choice is IAS, IFS, IPS. If you keep IFS below IPS, every likelihood कि आपको IFS मिलेगा ही नहीं. It's as good as saying कि मुझे IFS चाहिए ही नहीं. Okay, so this can be a choice. Otherwise, okay, if you want police to be above, but I will suggest keep IAS as one. I've seen a lot of police officers. They are excited by the power, the authority, and they are respected. But 2-3 साल काम करने के बाद they realize that IAS का जो power है, domination है, the scope of work is much more than IPS. So IPS अगर बहुत craving है and you really want that thing, fine. Otherwise, this is more or less a sequence of your preference. So 7th block and first block आपका set हो गया है. My strong recommendation कि second block में आप यही वाला रखें. Okay, where I rate Indian Audit Service as a very good service. Indian Audit Service has one of the least interference political. They are very independent. In fact, one of my students tells me their audit account has one of the highest nuisance power. They can enter any department, any body. They can get into any ministry and start auditing there. And post-retirement also, or if you take a voluntary retirement, audit accounts का बहुत अच्छा scope है in the corporate sector also. Audit is required everywhere. You have got a lot of prospects to join the UN also. The audit account is a nice one you can consider. And revenue IT, revenue custom excise, you can interchange. I'm told that people think the power is less, the public dealing is less. Yes, it is a bit less because of automation and faceless service that they want to become. But ऐसा नहीं है कि IRS does not have power. It is a cerebral work, a lot of hard work. There are investigations, there are raids to be done, a lot of account histories to be studied. So it's a good job. But then, given a choice, I think I would go for audit account as a preferred one because of the range of work that they get into. By the way, all the three services, because exposure that you have, because of trainings that you get, post-retirement corporate jobs are really good here. In fact, even some of them take voluntary retirement and join the corporate body midway also. So one के बाद मेरे ख्याल से 2 ही आना चाहिए, I would prefer. Now in block 3, so your choice is block 1 के बाद block 2. Now block 3 has Indian Railway Management Service. It has Railway Protection Force and Defense Estates. Of the 3, IRMS must be above. In fact, some of you, if you're really excited there, IRMS can also come after audit account. And you can slip IRS, IT, and IRS size a bit lower. That's because IRMS, they're almost the highest decision-making bodies in railways. Or railways में ना बहुत सारे other perks हैं. It has a very large budget. It has a very large expansion scope. A lot of technology, collaborations. It is one of the sector of the future. So I think this is a very, very good service. और because railways है, railways साथ में बहुत perks भी आते हैं आपके. You have got benefit of house, benefit of other allowances. You get a lot of other support, which is good as a part of working in a department. So by that logic, I have put the protection force or ये uniform service भी है. It's not like regular police, but yes, you do have uniform and some bit there. So that's what can be exciting for some of you. And defense estate is also a decent service. Defense estate service in cantonment areas, you are almost like the administrator there. Okay, and defense cantonments have a lot of development work. There are a lot of civil population living there. And you have, again, a lot of benefits of being in the cantonment along with the armed forces. So this is also a good job. It's not a very interfering job. But yes, you do have a problem of the civil administration and the hierarchy issues with the armed forces and their administration. But otherwise, I think it's a good one. Okay, this is the third block. Come to fourth block. Yeah, DANICs and DANIPs are like the state services of Delhi, Andaman, Nicobar, Daman, Deep, and the rest. इसमें क्या होता है? Although these are Group B services, they are actually proper bureaucracy. And in time, you also get promoted into an IAS officer. You also get promoted into an IPS officer. And I've seen a lot of Danics and Danips because of their work performance and even the political connections ke wajah se, they also get better postings and better deputations also. In fact, if some of you are okay with this block 4 can come directly after block 2. After you have filled up audit account and revenue services, okay, you can directly go for Danics and Danips, and you can keep railways as the 4th block. Okay, so many people think it is the Group B service and push it down. As a nahi, it's a good service. It was earlier called as UTCS, Union Territory Civil Services. Okay, so you have a nice range of, again, the AGMAT cadre ka sara advantage yahan hota hai, except for the fact that your promotion is a bit slower because you are in the state service. See, at some time in your life, it matters for the family where you are. आप दिल्ली में रहेंगे, the best of advantage of Delhi, your wife, job, schools, schooling of children, education of the children. That becomes very important thing in the future as you rise up your career. In that sense, Danik is a very nice career. You don't get discouraged by Group B. Yes, the promotions are a bit slow, but it is proper administration. You will have a feel of being an SDM, an IS officer, which otherwise you would have missed out. So I rate this 4th block as a very good block that you should not ignore. Now come to the 5th block. 5th block, I would recommend that you should fill only after the 4th block. The 4th block, if you push Danics in the 3rd, the 4th block becomes railway services and IDES, and the 5th block is 5th block. I think this is more or less your sequence. First preference be ICAS, civil accounts. The next is corporate law, information service, and trade service. Ko aap isme interchange kar sakte if you want to interchange. But of this, corporate law again has lot of post-retirement prospects. Corporate law gives good exposure. वैसे तो I have not heard too much of anything bad or very good about these services. Okay, people are okay types. Though I've heard some people resign because, again, give the examination of civil services, keeping IAS in mind. So that type of scope nahi hota hai isme. But even then, this has find decent job. Isi sequence mein. Trade was a very promising job. For some reason, it has not really gone up in preference because of maybe some work environments. But I think trade is a good service you can count on. Postal इसके बाद में, और ये वाला जो है postal, telecommunication, finance, because ये finance accounts वाला job है, against a desk job, more of paperwork. That's why I have pushed it below. But all these are Group A services with a decent amount of authority, decent amount of responsibilities. Okay, but of course, the feel of IAS will be missing. Now, Block 6 is Pondicherry Civil Services and Pondicherry Police Service. Again, this is a Group B service. And again, because Group B है, उसको नीचे push कर देते हैं. If you give me a chance, I would have probably even recommended Pondicherry Civil Services at the 5th block. Because again, Group B hai, but it is administrative, it's proper bureaucracy. You will rise up the ladder and you will take up more administration responsibilities. And Pondicherry itself is a nice place to live. Okay, the environment, the people, the culture, the sea beach, and that matters if you look at long-run family life ke liye. You can either consider this as your 6th block, but if you are willing to experiment there with administration, you can also take it to the block 5 and push block 5 at the next preference. So this is more or less my way of suggesting what can be your order preference. And like I said, nothing for or against any service. Generally, I'm looking at the mindset with which students appear the examination. Students appear the examination primarily from the objective of that they want to have administration, some status, they want to have some authority, they really want to have active role in social change, social reforms, people's leading. Keeping those in mind, ये my recommendation है. But of course, you can always have preferences. At EDUKEMY, I have one-on-one session with all the interview aspirants. I and my partner Dev Tripathi, we give you 2-3 sittings at EDUKEMY. We also have a tie-up with Shankar IAS if you want to go for mock sessions. So this is my phone number 9868 424 660. I believe that EDUKEMY में मैंने बहुत अलग टाइप का अप्रोच रखा है, where we want to go deep into your mindset, deep into your thinking thought process. We try to train you according to what your strengths and weaknesses are. And that is not possible in the mock sessions. Mock sessions का अलग purpose है, आपको practice मिलता है, but mock sessions से बहुत बार जो feedback मिलता है उससे ज़्यादा कुछ कर नहीं सकते. Honestly, interview is more about the personality, and personality के लिए आपको थोड़ा सा और different type का approach रखना पड़ेगा, which probably can help you improve your scores. So reach out to this. In the comment section, I'm sharing the form for all those who have qualified. My wishes to you, you can fill up the details, let me know, and I will help you in whatever way I can to get you ready for the interview. My wishes to you, good luck to all the aspirants, and I hope this video has helped you. I hope this video has been able to give you some insights on how to choose the cadres and the services in your DAF too. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you. Bye. Shabbir from EDUKEMY.